over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman's historical vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
What is on your mind, Cayman? If you are ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
A wonderful welcome. I trust and pray you are in that space where you're feeling not just motivated and energized, you're feeling productive, positive, a bit of pensiveness that is led by prayerfulness. It's going to be some open line at 1:30. Philip Richter hopefully will find time in his lunch hour to sit and share with us as we invite, encourage, and include in as much as possible, involve you in our discussions. Through our deliberations, we may be able to find something that is actually going to be meaningful. 949-837, 949-62990. If you call and share your thoughts, we'll know exactly what you're thinking. If you're not quite sure, well, hey, ask a question, seek answers. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Talk Today is reminding you.
Avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Email Talk Today at candw.ky. Let your voice be heard. And now, back to Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. Radio Cayman Talk Today.
Hey, welcome back. Thanks for joining us tonight. Listen, it's a Monday. And for many people, it's like that Mamas and the Papas song that Mr. Lomax used to play. But for some reason, man, I didn't like that song. Monday, Monday, da-da. You remember it? But for whatever reason, Monday is just like any day. As long as we pray and are prayerful a part of that day, we can make it happen. And many days are challenging because of, all of the things that we're facing. And whether we are joyful because it's a Friday and looking for an expectant long weekend or a holiday break, whether it's a Monday because in our minds it's going to be, another week. Mindset. My uncle always used to say, mind over matter. So let's make it matter because we're mindful. Let's keep each other accountable. Let's hold each other in prayer. Let's join our hands and hearts to make sure that we are there and physically present, not emotionally disconnected, and not, sort of absent in some way. Let's make it happen. 949-837, 949-62990. WhatsApp call if you so choose. 925-3261. And share your thoughts with us. I was glad to be able to have the opportunity to share with some individuals that they were, reminding us. But the problem increasingly is that we're becoming afraid to voice our opinions. Our employers, either deliberately or directly, or sometimes in a very coded, don't do this, don't get involved with that, you got to be mindful of this. Why? Why? Not like the 2-year-old who's asking, Mommy, why? Daddy, why? But it's about being deliberate and conscious. Why? Why not? Pastor Allah, blessed memory, used to say when people would say, oh, God, why me? He would ask her, God, why not me? And say God doesn't give us more than we can bear, and we must be, in the eyes of God, put us strong, because the weight of the world seems to be on our shoulders. With that, one of my favorite scriptures, and like I joke and say sometimes, being in my mind the biggest sinner in the room, let me be the first to pray. Not that I'm a theologian or understand it, but a friend sent me this and I thought, how timely. I'll share this with you, not just because I'm reminded by Mr. Loxley that each show should be started with prayer, and when I do it personally and privately, it's because it is too in me be guided by the hand of the Almighty. But from 2 Corinthians 4, 8 and 9, and not to borrow a page from Miss Julia, but I'm glad that she will pray prayerfully and we will take it on board. It reads, I say, we are pressed on every side, yet not crushed. We are perplexed, but not in despair. Persecuted, but not forsaken. Struck down, but not destroyed. Don't know that I am able to, because it's not how, in my mind, I choose to learn. Many of us can read, research, and regurgitate without understanding what it is that was being said. Others of us struggle. That's why our lions find it hard to do, whether in the play or on our Friday night endeavors, to recite. I love it when people can get up and through a soliloquy, or otherwise can share, whether they're doing a Shakespearean play or otherwise, they can share that. For me, it has always been a challenge. I want to understand what it is that's being said, not just be able to memorize it. Those who do are amazing. I think Mr. Thomas Jefferson was one of them. That was just incredible to listen to the recitations. Others likewise. I want to say that to ask you, where are we? Where are we in our country, in our actions to ensure that we are building a better place? Are we like some that are only looking out for ourselves and knowingly do so at the expense of others? Are we like others who just tirelessly give in the most unselfish of ways? Or maybe both are extremes, but perhaps the person who take need to be reminded that, like my dad would say, life is like a piggy bank. If you don't put something in, one day there'll be nothing. Even though you think it's an endless reservoir, it is at some point a finite resource. But you need to give. And it's not like many who just pay lip service to what they say because it's political expedient or convenient. So, step up, stand up, speak up. 949-8037, 949-6990. WhatsApp call, 925-3261. And join me in making this not just the very best place, but a time such as this for those like us who are helping each other, those who volunteer in any capacity, whether it's with our furry friends because they have become more than just a part of our families, whether it's like us who do it so quietly from our time, our talent, and our treasure, as Ms. Marlin has always shared, given to others, whether we volunteering in our schools or in our churches, or very publicly proclaiming in our communities the things that others are not championing. Let's do so. 949-8037, 949-6990. We'll take a quick first break. Invite you to share your thoughts with us. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit caymanairways.com/cargo.
The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter will be taking appointments February 22nd to the 28th at his Crew Road Clinic. Appointment slots are limited. Whether you're seeking advanced skin care, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Wayne Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email Dr. Porter Cayman at gmail.com. That's drportercayman@gmail.com. Call 946-9020 to book your appointment today. That's 946-9020.
The Ministry of Planning, Agriculture, Housing, Infrastructure, Transport and Development is pleased to provide the APATH Grant Program to help you thrive. Whether you're interested in pursuing higher education or a career in planning, infrastructure, agriculture, housing, or transport, APATH is designed just for you. Ready to take the leap? Apply today. For more information, please contact APATH Secretariat at 936-6231 or mpahi@gov.ky. APATH, your path to success in the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back and thanks for joining us. It is open line as we go to the phones. Hey, welcome. Thank you for calling.
Good afternoon, Dwayne.
How are you today?
Not bad, darling. How are you?
Good, good. You know, I hope you don't mind me saying publicly, but you and Captain Peter, you guys have been in my heart recently, and I apologize for not even reaching out to you. And the interesting thing is, my hesitation was only because, you know what, I don't want it to sound political. It was just prayerful. So thank you for calling and sharing with us.
Yes, thank you too. And why you didn't keep singing?
I think, you know, I would joke or attempt to joke and say that Norma has said to me, listen, we got letters from lawyers saying you're not allowed to sing on the air because too many people's ears have been hurt. But no, I love to make a joyful noise. You know, I believe that when we sing in a way that can, even as horrible as it may sound to others, we can bring joy to people, because if anything they say, boy, he sings just as bad as me, or geez, I just sound better than him. But it's about a spirit of bringing people to smile. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just like the doctor say, you know, if you laugh a lot and stuff, it keeps your pressure down.
It is true, you know. It is true. It is true. And I like to laugh. That's why I look in the mirror so often. Just kidding.
Yeah, yes, yes. But anyway, I call to say this. I keep wondering what time is NCB is going to try to finish that ugly thing that is up there by, I don't know what you call it, but right by the Georgetown Cemetery.
Oh, okay.
Going south on the
I know by Dixie.
Yeah, right by the cemetery.
Yes, ma'am.
And it doesn't have windows, it doesn't have doors, and you see the whole thing much better if you go to one of those restaurants that is, you know, right there by the sea. And it looks horrible.
Yeah, but when you're from the ocean side and, you know, you're out fishing or fishing in, you know, when you're out fishing, it looks good from that side.
Exactly. Exactly. And then, you know, government gives certain time to other people to finish, especially if they're trying to get a house, to finish and all that kind of thing. I wonder what has happened to that. Then another complaint I want to lay, and then you can laugh or you can sing, whatever. Tell Miss Norma that one of your callers say that you can sing.
Yeah. Well, 949-7799 is Radio Cayman number. You can call. No, that's kidding. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. Last night we were sitting down somewhere where we could see the ocean. Mm. And I'll tell you, it was in a fast food restaurant. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And there comes this car with red lights in the front, Dwayne.
Wow.
Dwayne.
Yes, ma'am.
Red lights in the front. And I thought this car is reversing back into the drive-through. Mm-hmm. And then we drove other places. We never seen one police car, nothing. If you want to help the police, you want people to help the police, because they are always asking for help, even though it's too many, and one is depending on the other, as far as I'm concerned. Why they gotta ask all these questions before you can get to relate the story?
Oh, what you call?
Mm-hmm. You know, you like me, I forgot what I was even, because they ask, you know, your name, your age, and your this and your that, and on and on and on. Mm-hmm. But I wonder about these things sometimes. And I know election is coming up in April, the end of April. Mm-hmm. Boy, things going to get done quickly now. You know, so that is the reason why I'm saying it. But tell Miss Norma that we like when you sing. We definitely like when you laugh, because we know that you're enjoying what you're doing. Mm-hmm. Some calls can be, you know, aggravating. I must admit that. But that's the person's opinion. We can't get at them.
Right,
because that is their opinion. But tell Miss Norma, call her, say, sing. And I'm trying to do what the doctors say to keep down my pressure. But I would like to see something done with that building. Well, really honest to God. And I hope he gets the message that people out there is talking. Why is it he not doing something? At least put up doors or something, because it's right there by the cemetery. God's sake, what would the tourists do? And if I can add 2 more minutes, please. Mm-hmm. This morning, Mr. The Premier, not the Premier, sorry, Mr. Bryan was on the radio, and he was talking about speaking about, because he was on with OC, and I kind of sorry I didn't get to call in to tell OC that he's not taking enough vitamin C, because he said about this bad cold and stuff. Anyway, and he was talking about the dock that government would like to build. But we out here would like to know what's the cost of that. If they know, please to tell us, because it's not people like me that it's going, all these bills is going to fall on. It's the younger generation. And we keep telling them, get a good education, which is excellent advice and stuff like that, but they're going to get so fed up of bills that is unnecessary. Why I'm saying that? Unless they can tell us where they're going to build these docks for these cruise ships and run us in probably millions and millions and millions, who knows, $1 billion in debt, I am not for it. And the reason for that, I've been on many, many cruises. I've been on one just a few years back that has gone to Belize and Rotan, Honduras. And Carnival had their own private beach. They had all their chairs. They had their barbecue grills and everything. Now, Rotan, Honduras has a nice area, but it is so shallow. They have the stores right down there built on a pier that you have to take a tender to go back to the cruise ship. I've been on many cruise ships in the Caribbean that they don't have no docks. The reason I'm saying this, because if you have one, let's say, right in town or close in town, what about the environment? Then the people just walk off the cruise ship, look around, take some pictures. They don't patronize the restaurants. They don't patronize any tours. And he was saying, that's taking away a living. Oh, really? No. Unless the government can tell us people out there the amount that it would cost, then I don't think we should build any, because other Caribbean islands, and God have mercy on us, but the traffic is bad enough as it is. Other Caribbean islands do not have it. You have to I love taking the tender. Oh, yes, because then you look and you, oh, wow. You see the whole island then, So I'm not agreeable with that. I'm sorry, Mr. Bryan, Deputy Premier. I'm sorry. I'm not agreeable until the government can tell us what is the cost. Thank you, Dwayne, and tell Miss Norma I love to hear you sing, because you laugh enough. But
Thank you. Well, as always, give me the thing where the doctor order me. That one? Give me the thing.
Any kind of Caribbean song, or anything religious, like the old people like to hear. Hear these old songs that they still remember and stuff. Religious songs. Yeah.
There are some songs that you're most welcome. Thanks for the encouragement. And I think Norma would say, boy, don't encourage him. But there are some songs that we sing only at funerals that I love, but only hear them at funerals, right?
Yeah.
And it's, out of respect for everything. Thank you for what you shared, all right? Have a wonderful day.
Yes, sir. And you too. And thanks very much for thinking of us. Peter mentioned your name just the other day. Said, oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Long time I didn't see him.
It's been a busy month for me. I mean, this last quarter was horrendous. This one is looking better, but such is life, right?
Such is life.
Such is life. This too shall pass.
Yes, thank you very much.
You're most welcome. Take care. And as we go into the break, as we recognize what the caller shared, the caller prior, she also indicated, hey, it's not about whether you're for or against, this, that, or the next thing. If they're going to do something, you need to know, like in the case with constructing a port, is it going here or there? Where is it going? How much is it going to cost? And the cost isn't just the financial cost. It's the social cost. It's the environmental cost. It's the impact on the infrastructure. Not to be too political. If it is, happily defend the position because I want to learn. But it's about understanding what we're doing and the impact today and 100 years from now. There's much that we can't undo. You can't unhear me sing much as you might like. As much as I might think it sounds okay. It certainly isn't as angelic as KK Elise. But hey, it brings joy to me. Let's pause, take a break. When we come back, we want to hear from you. We'll join the callers. Maybe you'll be one of them. Stay tuned.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Protect your computers and mobile devices with security software to defend against cyber attacks through viruses, malware, and other online threats. Be aware of unsecure Wi-Fi connections when in public. If you need to access your online banking or sensitive information on your mobile devices, try disabling the Wi-Fi and switching to data from your mobile network. If you suspect a fraud attempt, please contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back and thanks for joining us. Honestly, with the greatest of love and respect, please accept my sincere appreciation for being able to sit here and facilitate our discussions. It's just been a true honor and privilege as we take this next call. Hey, welcome. Thanks for sharing.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sterling. How are you, sir?
I am very, very thankful, sir. How are you?
Well, I am kind of jealous because you're taking my job away. I used to sing, but from time you started sing, I have to stop.
Well, I appreciate you respecting great talent and, giving me the deference because, unlike you got paid to sing, I probably get paid not to, but I still make more money.
Well, what happened? Why they pay me is for me to hush.
Okay, so we're in the same boat then. All right.
Yeah. Good evening, sir. How are you doing today?
I'll say it this way with the greatest of integrity and appreciation. I am absolutely fantastic. God has allowed me to see another day, has given me a presence of mind, a physical strength, and an incredible grouping of people who keep me in check, who don't only tell me what I need to hear, but they do so when I need to hear it, and those are the people that you need. So,
yes.
But I must share though, I have a friend from whom, the last few days have been a challenge. So hopefully that will be something that will be revisited. But other than that, my friend, life is good.
Yes, sir. Okay, Mr. Stern, I got a couple of little things that is on my mind, and when you can't do nothing no more, and all you can do is nothing, your mind wanders and stuff, and I sit down and and I reflect back, Mr. Sterling, on 15, 60 years ago, how it was in Cayman. And all the modernized equipment and everything that we have now, when I stop and I think and I compare now to then, really and truly, honestly, I mean, some people mightn't understand this, what I'm saying, but you would have to live it to understand it. We were better off many years ago. We didn't have all these modernized facilities. But, Mr. Sterling, I'm talking especially about respect. And I'm talking about our way of living and our foods that we used to eat. Firstly, I was saying that, I don't know if many of us is observing what is happening now since this president, Donald Trump, has taken over the United States. Again, what detrimental is going to be on us here in the Cayman Islands, but it's going to affect us and affect us a lot. Mr. Sterling, a lot of the foods that is into the United States that is being sent to the Cayman Islands bought by these supermarket, Kirk Foster's, Hurley's, and what have you. Many of that food is coming in from Costa Rica to the United States, and then it's being refrigerated for weeks and weeks and then shipped to the Cayman Islands. And when they get here in the supermarkets, and I'm talking about mostly like vegetables and beef. And I'm not asking no one, I am telling you, this is the fact. That is already dried out. The refrigeration has already sucked out all of the substance and all the minerals and vitamins out of the food. And sometime back, I remembered Mr. McLaughlin, Mr. Alden McLaughlin, them was trying to talk about bringing in food from over Honduras, bringing in food from Jamaica and from Nicaragua. Why I'm saying that, Mr. Sterling, the food is much fresher. It's not being refrigerated as much. I don't eat stuff in refrigerator, No. I don't eat stuff in refrigerator. Because that refrigerator itself, that Freon and stuff that it has in it takes out everything from the food. And I was wondering if our government or the next government that will take over, why don't they consider importing food from closer to us? Jamaica has good product. Jamaica has good product. Honduras has good product. So why can't we bring it and even get it in cheaper? You could buy a bunch of plantain, and I don't mean 2 or 3 hand bunch of plantain, or like 8 and 9 hand and 10 hand bunch of plantains. Right now in Honduras for $4 American. Yeah. You remember when the boats used to come in from Honduras and some from Jamaica too, and used to tie up right there in the dock in Georgetown, and you could go down there, Mr. Sterling, and buy them food, them pineapples and watermelons and bananas.
I have fresh. Very vivid memory. Me and my brother Dwayne with my daddy and Mr. Aaron on the dock, and he would say to my daddy, say, "Cap, whatever watermelon, your sons can pick up the heaviest, biggest one, they can have." He was just such a lovely man, and so to see, through his eyes, the admiration that he had for a father with his sons, and encouraging that. But you were right. But to your point, Mr. George, maybe we lost the plot in this country. We're not looking at food and water security. We're not understanding the geopolitical landscape. Honorable J. Ebanks, just in this administration, now we know others in the past have also tried, but maybe we're not doing it sufficiently. Maybe we're chasing paved roads and dollars as opposed to the lives of people. Anyway, I'll be careful because I don't have no qualms. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Make her continue because I gotta get to something. But do you like a watermelon you buy from Jamaica or Honduras?
Mm-hmm.
They got the watermelon, got seeds. And when you cut them watermelon, it red like blood and sweet. The watermelon you go in some of these supermarkets here and you buy it, it almost white.
Yeah.
Some people tell me they have to put sugar on the watermelon when they cut it.
But Mr. George, there's a bigger picture at play,
I know,
Okay.
I know, sir. I know.
Yes, sir.
But what I'm saying, okay, look at fish, fresh fish that we used to get here. And I remember as a boy, Mr. Bola Thompson, right there where the Port Authority is now. When I come out of school in the evening, me and my friends, each one was had a willing knife, and Mr. Bola Thompson would tell us, one for you and two for me, one for you and two for me. And every one of us boys, and I mean, when they throw those goggles with them, come out of them nets, Mr. Sterling, thousands of goggles. People come from the Brack. They come from East End, North Side, Bordentown. And for days you had goggles. Now you don't even see them. That's that part. So I wish that the government and the one that is, the new one that is coming, will consider importing foods again from these close to Caribbean islands, which the foods are much fresher, because that is what making us sick to the food stuff.
Yeah. But it's also too. Go ahead, sir.
Yes,
go ahead.
sir.
No, go ahead.
The lady called just now about these buildings in Georgetown. You heard me many times, Mr. Sterling, speak about those two big buildings in front of Delwood gas station there. We call it Delwood. You know what I'm talking about.
All right, by Dixie.
So, right next to the wharf restaurant.
On either side of Dixie. Right, almost.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And that cemetery, I visited there again on Sunday because that is a very, very special place to me because a lot of my family members are buried there. And
Yes,
I
sir.
repeat this. Once you are going into the West Bay area, coming from Georgetown, and that stoplight comes on right there by Delwood gas station, and you take a look to the left, right under a jasmine tree there is old Gillette spot. One spot is left there where I must go. Right next to it, a little ways ahead of it, by where the gate is another plot of Gillette family there. All of the Caymanian people, the salts of this island are buried there. And I'm wondering if governments are going to protect and respect that area, that be respected continuously for the Caymanian people. There's still many people there that have their spot there that they bought from years ago before all of this came, and people would still be buried there. And I plan to spend my eternity in that area next to my mother and my father. But it's a jungle, a concrete jungle in Cayman. This is not an island anymore, Mr. Sterling. I know I've seen more buildings in all of my life. Who gonna occupy all of these? Who are going to occupy all of this? Where are the Caymanians? Is it anything in place for your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren as Caymanians? Where are we going? I want someone, I'm finishing now, sir. I want someone to answer me this, because it is terrible. We have nowhere to go.
Yes, sir.
Give us something for ourselves that we deserve, because we born here, we grew up here, My mother and father born here and grew here long time before all of this came here.
Yes, sir.
Please. Thank you very much, Mr. Sterling.
Mr. George, thank you,
have
sir.
a good day.
And you as well.
Continue singing.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you for that. And as we go into the break, a couple of things immediately come to mind emanating from Mr. George's comments. One, that country song, Who's Gonna Fill Their Shoes? The Calypso, Where Are Your Heroes, West Indies? Well, the question has been often asked, sometimes not as respectfully or resourcefully as required, other times because maybe how it was said or how it was heard, we never got a proper discussion. For whom are we developing? Respectfully, I submit that it is us who are driving it, whether indirectly because we sit and do nothing, or directly because we're pushing it, chasing greed and wealth, status, or stature, depending on how we perceive it. End of the day, is about us doing it for us. Now, that sacrifice that our parents and their parents' made should have now been translated into the investment that we are making for future generations. But we're not doing it because we're not working together and we're not seeing the bigger picture at play. To his point relative to food security, it's not, as he shared, looking at other areas where we can source food. Perhaps it's as much, if not more so, timely that we look at growing our own food. What they say, grow what you eat and eating what you grow. That quality that may come from other places relative to what we have here could also be better if we were growing it ourselves. Are we willing to do it? Well, perhaps not. Perhaps we might say we can never be sufficiently independent when it comes to food security. Growing larger quantities of certain things might be possible, but at the end of the day, it has to be with a concerted effort and consistency in our approach. Our news is ready. We'll pause and do that. Take calls when we come back. Philip Richter is at 1:30. Hey, good things on the cards, so stay tuned for Talk Today.
Since 1976.
Covering Grand Cayman, Little Cayman, Cayman Bright. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
With a look at your latest headlines, I'm Jevi Ebanks. Customs and Border Control Officer Christopher Macfield has been named the Cayman Islands Government Employee of the Month for September 2024, following his selection as Chief Officer's Choice for the Ministry of Border Control, Labour and Culture. Deputy Governor the Honourable Franz Manderson praised Macfield's exceptional dedication, innovative approach, leadership and collaborative efforts. Chief Officer Wesley Howell highlighted Macfield's contribution to improving border operations and his inspiration to civil servants. Assistant Director Anderson commended Macfield's integrity, fairness and pioneering approach. Macfield expressed gratitude for the recognition and emphasized the importance of vigilance and accountability at the CBC. In regional news, St. Vincent Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves believes the deportation of Caribbean community nationals from the United States will be discussed at the upcoming summit of regional leaders in Barbados. Gonsalves expressed concern that Washington does not provide information about deportees' criminal history to receiving countries. He emphasized the importance of adhering to international law and best practices in the deportation process. The Prime Minister noted that St. Vincent and the Grenadines is obligated to accept its nationals who are deported, but highlighted the challenges of reintegrating deportees without adequate information. In Jamaica, the Statistical Institute of Jamaica reports that from January to September last year, Jamaica spent US $5,520,000 on imports, while earning $1,365,000 from exports. Imports declined by 4.2% compared to the same period in 2023, attributed to lower imports of raw materials, intermediate goods, fuels, and lubricants. Total exports were 10.8% lower than the previous year, primarily due to a significant reduction in re-exports. Domestic exports has increased by 3.7%, with the top 5 exports destinations being the United States, Russia, Iceland, the Netherlands, and Canada. That is your latest headlines. I'm Jevi Ebanks.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Do you have a healthcare question but not sure who to ask? Contact HSA's Patient Call Center to speak to one of our experienced clinical team members. We are here to answer your questions and help guide you through your healthcare journey. Need to make an appointment? Our team can help. Contact HSA at 949-8600 or email info@hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Captain Keith Parker Tibbetts, MBE, JP, 1916 to 1996. Captain Keith Tibbetts of Kimmenbrack, shipwright, sea captain, entrepreneur, businessman, farmer, hotelier, building contractor, airline agent, government auditor, and land adjudicator, was elected as a vestryman before he turned 30. He served 25 years in the Assembly of Magistrates and Vestry and its successor, the Legislative Assembly, becoming a life member of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. In 1962, Captain Keith presented a petition to Sir Kenneth Blackburn, Governor of Jamaica, signed by over 75% of the registered voters in the Sister Islands, stating that if Grand Cayman decided to remain under the governance of an independent Jamaica, Kimmenbrack and Little Cayman would separate from Grand Cayman and become a crown colony under the authority of the United Kingdom. In addition to receiving many awards for heritage preservation, tourism, and community service, Captain Keith was posthumously honored in 1996 when a Russian destroyer was sunk off the northwestern end of Kimmenbrack as a dive attraction and renamed the MV Captain Keith Tibbetts.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands, the ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom, the land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your Sister Islands.
Discover all that our Sister Islands have to offer.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back and thanks for joining us. And certainly open line if you wish to choose and share a thought. We want to hear from you. 949-8037, 949-6990 or WhatsApp call 925-3261. Let's go to the phones. Welcome. Thanks for calling.
Hey, good day, Lord Shirley.
Yeah, wonderful afternoon and welcome to you, man. How are things?
Man, I haven't heard you sing it in a long time. I mean the full song, you know.
Listen, man. You know, very few of us, you know, should be subjected to such torture. You know, I think. Anyway, I believe it is probably why we sing in choirs and why we sing in showers. Very few can hear, you know. But anyway, You want like
It's a song, Papa Was a Rolling Stone.
Papa Was a Rolling Stone, yeah. Well, I think the better one is Mama Told Me. Huh? Never shop, always shop around. So, huh?
Boy, I tell you.
Ah.
Hey, Mr. Sterling, you know, I was listening to For the Record this morning.
Oh, thank you, man. Mr. Art brings us a great presentation every day. He's on here.
Yeah,
huh?
and I don't know how accurate this is, or I'm not so sure. I would like to hear more about it, or what this lady was talking about.
Yeah.
Something about either, I don't want to say it because I can't be too sure what she said, whether people were considering or is considering shutting down 37 businesses, or maybe, I don't want to say something about 37 businesses or something like that. She was saying something to Minister Bryan, to the Deputy Premier, but I would like to hear more about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds serious, and that's a bad sign. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I did not hear that part. You were referring to today's discussion, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Let me see if I can inquire, but I did not hear that either. We do know from different people, financial services and different aspects of financial services, of concerns that they may have, either because of the bureaucracy and licensing and other requirements from SEMA, or allegations of business relative to government, or all these things. Some it may have traction, some it may be just over exaggeration. So let me ask and see if I can get some clarity for you.
And when it concerns DCA too, it need to be, it has to be Department of Commerce and Investment that gives you the licenses and stuff like
that.
It has to be more variety. I mean, it got to be a little broader. There are different types of businesses that people would like to do, and in a certain type of way.
Give me an example.
I mean, for example, okay, all right, I invented a game then, right? I don't want to say too much about it and my difficulty in getting it off the ground, but
yeah.
I mean, it's, I don't see anything there that refers to that type of thing, like manufacturing. Well, maybe manufacturing. I don't remember, but it's not specific. It could be more subjects, more types of businesses that they can say, well, okay, if you want to get a license for this. We need more variety, and I think that's one reason why a lot of businesses shutting down right now, closing down. You got a lot of competing restaurants. You got a lot of competing barbershops. Got a lot of it's originality. Then, for example, creating something, creating something new. Is in my opinion, it's very important that you would make more than an original type of business.
Right. I mean, as a
generic what follows, yeah.
That entrepreneur nature, for some reason, I feel that it is quite inherent in us. It's almost something that. I'm not saying it doesn't exist amongst other people or in other societies and cultures, but there's always been an entrepreneurial spirit in our own people. From very young, they have this industriousness. And unfortunately, maybe we have, like so many other things, beaten it out of our people in more than one way. So, something that to consider. You're giving me a thought that I know would be best advised to hold just for now, but you keep pushing it up, my friend. Keep pushing it up. Let's take this other call, though. And you keep pressing and persevering. Never feel persecuted nor prosecuted. All right, let's take this next call. Welcome. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, hi. Good afternoon, Sterling. How you doing, man?
I am wonderful. How about yourself?
I am thankful, thank God.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mercy's
Thank you,
grace, provision and protection, right?
Amen.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
really where we're at. Listen, picking up on the last call, and so it's interesting where he went, because I was thinking about what I heard this morning when I heard the caller call in. So to clarify to him, the lady that called near the ending of the show said that there were some 37 businesses that closed in Georgetown. She didn't give any timeline in terms of when those closures took place. Didn't give no indication about what kind of businesses they were. She said she could name them out in the whole line, which I wish she did. But let me just say this, because I've been thinking about this. I this is my opinion based on what I heard, which is not a lot. There's a lot of fear-mongering going around. There's so much that could be attributed to businesses closing. Most businesses close within the first year or two when they're open. That gentleman that you were just talking with certainly spoke with about one of them, which is that there's no originality, so lots of the same stores. I hope we don't have anything like Margaritaville or the former Hard Rock Cafe or all those kind of things in there, because if any of those models were dependent on cruise ships, and I highly doubt Hard Rock went downtown because their model was dependent on cruise ship passengers. Highly doubt it. Otherwise, they're silly. And there are a lot of other variables that were uncontrollable. The pandemic and the whole nine, road closures downtown and the whole nine. In terms of our restructuring, if any of the stores along there closed or moved, that certainly played a big part of it. But let's talk about the flip side. There are businesses that also came into Georgetown.
Right.
I'm thinking of, for example, Island Paste in the middle of town that hasn't been there before, and they're flourishing, from what I could tell, certainly going there. And there are a couple of others as well. The reality is that we need to not fearmonger and talk about, 37 businesses closing downtown and all, in my personal opinion, as a means of getting our people to decide to destroy the beautiful vista of Georgetown with concrete to allow people to walk, to do a 10-minute walk to our port. I've been speaking with a lot of visitors recently, and I've yet to find one that says, talking about stayover visitors, that says they enjoy going downtown Georgetown and while there are cruise ships in town. In fact, to the contrary.
To the contrary.
To the contrary. I remember when we were having this huge debate about the port the last time I was here, and a cousin of mine who drives taxi, she invited me on her bus. She knows that I was contrary, and she was for the port. And she raised the issue about, to her passengers, there were about 15, 20 of them on there, about the fact that we were considering a downtown port, and we put out some points for and against. There was not one person on that bus, as I remember, and these were the passengers who were coming from the cruise ships, who wanted us to destroy any more of our environment or put any further cement downtown or anything. They were totally against it, completely against it. And, these are just, of course, anecdotal sort of examples, but I think we need to bring it home always, Sterling, to Cayman, our balance of life, our quality of life, the social implications surrounding additional infrastructure needs, the additional stressors on our local business. I shared it with you the other day, and I'm going to keep hampering it away because, of course, you and I talk often, I suppose, here, and there are people who are always tuning in and out. So, we have to always consider when is enough enough? Do we get 5 ships a week? Do we get 10 ships a week now? Do we get 20 ships a week now? Is it 25? Is it 30? When is enough enough? How do we measure that? What are we doing? The same lady ended with, all over the Caribbean is growing, but by a few nations, including Cayman, few islands, including Cayman, the numbers are down. Well, why is that? Is it organic or is it strategic?
Right.
And even if the numbers are down, aren't our numbers somewhere near the 2019 before the pandemic now? So we're dealing with 1 million plus. Is that not enough?
Yeah.
I mean, how many more tour buses are we going to get for cruise ships? Having a port's going to do what? Add 5 more ships for the week? 10? 20? Or, I get it. They're saying that the cruise lines are going to pull it all together. I highly doubt that.
Well,
highly doubt it.
To align with what you shared, I mean, those in architecture will tell you a premise that once was touted, less is more, right?
Yeah.
We hear politicians as well as other pundits talk about, not quantity but quality. I don't want this to be any more political than this, and I certainly don't want it to be just lip service. But to your point, when we're looking at what it is there sufficient discussion on any and everything that allows an informed, decision, right? And businesses closing. Well, is that the nature of a business? Is it, as you've shared, other intervening factors?
Huge.
Huge. The question has been asked but never answered, and sometimes with great respect, never been asked perhaps properly. For whom we were developing, to what extent is this investment, this expenditure, because the two are not the same, in alignment with growing the population, growth from the perspective of adding value to the pressures on the infrastructure. I don't know that we have it right, and I don't know that we're willing to have meaningful, respectful discussions.
Well, I don't think that we, sorry, Sterling,
No,
I certainly don't think that we have it right. We've got it wrong for a very long time. I shared with you the other day on the ending of one of your other shows that our Auditor General told us that 2 of every 5 people in the tourism industry are Caymanian. And so that variable, that alone, and we have an unemployment problem, by the way, with Caymanians. That alone tells me a number of different things. We absent of everything that plays in. So if that number can just be taken at its plain sight, that we have 2 of every 5 people in the tourism industry are Caymanian, that means we have more expatriates, which we all know, who work, or more transient workers, more pleasant to the air. Transient workers that want to become permanent later on, but more transient workers that are in our tourism field. That alone tells me, with Caymanians applying every day within the industry and being denied, that alone tells me that we've got it wrong. Never mind all the other things that we can play in. So we got it wrong, Dwayne, because we have been just focusing on greed and living somebody else's vision. And so we know what the good book says about vision without one. And so we have got it so terribly wrong. You just had a caller earlier talking about the monstrosities surrounding our cemetery in Georgetown. How very wrong we've done it. We can't see our beaches anymore. The persons who live, the Caymanians who live in the eastern districts, I'm not sure they appreciate the massive change, like perhaps the people who are in Georgetown and West Bay, because the West Bay drives from West Bay into town often, and would have seen the changes. We could see the public beach, we could see the beaches, we could enjoy, and we don't see any of that anymore. And so that all plays into the quality of life. That plays into the human being, the human factor, the social consideration, the stressors. I am not going to vote for anything that destroys any more of our environment. And if it means us having to go back to the table to check what that model should look like, that's what we should be deciding on is, what ultimately do we want to look at? Slowing it down, taking the heater off a little bit. Yes, there'll be a fall away, Dwayne. But we have to be looking at it from a holistic standpoint. We cannot continue to ignore the stressors that it's causing to the Caymanian people. And we keep talking about it in this very kind of educated stance, and that's fine, but we have to bring it home. We have to let our leaders and those who are seeking leadership to know we are serious about the fact that we need to just slow it down a little bit. Get back home, That's just my thoughts, man.
You're welcome. And you're welcome to stay on, or if you wish, you can disconnect. I want to read comments from listeners who are agreeing with you, agreeing with the caller who's speaking now, right? One listener says, in reference to what you shared about the lady who called for the record this morning, says, it sounds as if the lady had her facts correct. However, this caller's view is position on the cruise numbers is that we absolutely do not need more. Most of those businesses that closed were not Caymanian businesses. This is comments from callers, right? For instance, Margaritaville was the largest in the caller's view, and I don't know one Caymanian who lost a job because of that closure. The large jewelry store closed, but I would venture to say that didn't affect Caymanians either. This monster that we have created is requiring more and more to quote-unquote feed it. It will never be satisfied. The magic figure of 100,000 in relation to population would soon become 200,000. Right? So to your point, I think many people who have shared are sharing that it isn't about not wanting to grow the economy or other things. It's about words that we're hearing increasingly being used. What is the carrying capacity? When is enough? Not just politically as a slogan, but so that it's sustainable. Another nice word that we use.
Yes.
Seemingly becomes a cliche. To your
two things to that, Dwayne.
Yes, sir.
Sterling, real quickly.
Yes.
They mentioned Margaritaville. I couldn't help but to think the owner of Margaritaville, and I used to being closely involved and certainly know there was a whole different strategy for that. That place was always packed when there was cruise ships and had a lot of other things. So I don't think it was because they weren't making money. That was just a change of structure, and that particularly took place during the pandemic. So a decision was made, and it's moved from that as an example. But Sterling, there's something else. Economic development, we've got it so wrong. We think that means just constant development and growth. It doesn't mean that. It means that you build an economy that sustains the people who are from that place. Not build an economy that decides whether the Philippines exist and Jamaica exists in Honduras or whoever our workers are coming from. It is if the locals of that particular country has employment, is able to find proper housing, is able to live. It's not to continue to develop just because you want to say you're developing. That is not economic development. The purpose of economic development, that is. So anyway,
there's a difference between construction and development, right?
Well, construction now. Sorry, I know you probably want to make a point, but construction now, for example, has taken over, has become one of the other pillars of our economy. And if tourism has 2/5 Caymanians, I would ask what that number is for construction. So I don't know what we're doing, but anyway, we're doing it wrong.
I appreciate you willing to share a perspective, and I hope and pray that as people listen to you, that they do as what I'm trying to do. You're asking us to consider things. You're not saying anything that is vitriolic, disrespectful. You're just saying it from a considered perspective, inviting further thought and further discussion. So thank you for having the courage. Thank you for making time, like others, to share as well. So really appreciate it.
Thank you too, sir.
All right. And to that caller's point, as we take the break, he shared on the bus, someone who's in the cruise sector, the passengers on board, seemingly as he relayed, not in favor, of added construction in the port. But as he also shared, the stay over visitor rarely, if ever, has expressed any desire or interest or enjoyment when they do to come into town to do the shopping when there are mass numbers of cruise tourists, only because I guess some people don't like crowds. But it has also been experienced by many who've shared that it's not just the long-term and repeat visitor, but that first-time visitor who says, I don't really enjoy the experience when there's such large numbers on the cruise. In addition to those, the resident population, those who are living and working here, also express a growing, frustration, a growing challenge to navigate not just the downtown area, but the traffic, the streets, the beaches, and the like. Where is that balance? Probably not as easy as some would like, but perhaps much easier than some would want you to believe. Can we have honesty and integrity in our discussions? I would think so. Let's pause and take a break. Come back. We have more calls. We have more comments. We want you to share. So stay tuned.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit caymanairways.com/cargo.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Boddentown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Boddentown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
The Cayman Islands Agricultural Society presents Roots Rock Reggae with reggae superstar Taras Riley live in concert at the Agricultural Fairgrounds on Saturday, March 1st, alongside Mr. Notch and Local Motion 345, Sugar Daddy, Sound Revolution, and more. It's Roots Rock Reggae going down Saturday, March 1st at the Agricultural Fairgrounds. General admission tickets only $45 and VIP $65 with access to the raised viewing platform. Purchase your tickets now at eventpro.ky. Roots Rock Reggae is brought to you by the Ministry of Planning, Agriculture, Housing and Infrastructure, Cayman Distributors, Coca-Cola, and Cayman Airways.
Hi, I'm Deputy Governor Franz Manderson, and I'm happy to announce the annual DG's 5K Challenge is fast approaching. Join us in Little Cayman on March 9th, Cayman Brac on March 16th, and Grand Cayman on March 30th for this exciting event. This year, we're proudly supporting the Cayman Islands Girls Brigade, the Cayman Islands Scouts Association, and the 1-to-1 Foundation, organizations dedicated to making a positive difference in the lives of our next generation. For more info on how to register, find us on Facebook at DG's 5K Challenge.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back. Thank you for joining us. And in short order, Mr. Philip Richter will sit and keep our company, share his perspective, encourage and invite others to do likewise. 949-8037, 949-6990. Let's take a call on the WhatsApp, which is 925-3261. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon. Rambo speaking. Fabian.
Rambo, how are you today, man?
Oh, beautiful weather. Beautiful weather. Remind me of some beautiful ladies. Good soul. Beautiful. Excellent weather.
It is good weather indeed.
Can't complain.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Cayman winter is gradually elapsing. I need to hurry up down. Let me send an email to the minister. The glass house. Then you hurry up. So I gotta do what I do. I was
Okay.
starting different there. You see, from 2017 commencing, 2017 in 2021, the politicians or who have the want to run had this mentality of polarization. Figure a paradigm shift.
Mhm.
Some veterans or who want to be whatever, okay? And the end of the day now, they had nuanced decisions and nuanced ideas. Gradually get right off. You see where I'm from? And this morning I called Mr. OC this morning with Dr. Premier Kenneth. I called him. And he gave an accreditation, right? That he know Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Donald Trump want to gradually, obviously, the 1 cent, the penny, copper. Okay? However, 14 cents manufacture the nickel, which is 5 cents. So, in UK Prime Minister now, his agenda now is the economic reform. So that will gradually come down to here. You know, Labour in Cayman context, for drummer Corbyn days. Okay? So starting this election now, it's all about affirmative action and who want to get merit based and power structure. Okay? So the centers of it, like I say, everybody broke the record, they better know what they're doing. You know? From 2001 now, but rapid talk show with OC in Kenneth, as in 2001, gotta listen carefully. November, audibly gotten election in Alden. John Milking Senior never get back in. Or Truman Borden, never did. But I've already they commented on the compass. The late John Milking Senior. You feel me? So when it comes to time now, Sterling, it could have been there. Unity is essential in Parliament. You feel me? And the whole material, like Sterling, as you start in the physical form, soon, in the proper time, soon. But I can't, all my elements, I can't go to read the land. You know what I mean? Yeah, so, like I say, Sterling, we don't want like a deja vu with his last term. We shuffle the cards and up and down. You playing down the game with codes and signs, symbols. We don't want that again. Inexperienced people that can, you know, but can walk a mile.
Yeah,
they walk 5 miles.
Yeah, if I may, you're Rumble. If I may ask you, right?
Go ahead.
When you're talking about inexperienced people relative, specific, I guess, to the political landscape, I liken it to the comments we often hear when someone applies for a job or you don't have experience, right? They may have the requisite academic qualifications, but not the practical experience, the sufficient number of years that have been asked for, whether it's, PQEs or otherwise, right? But in that respect, if you're elected as a legislator, at what point are you expected to have experience before getting elected? I mean, and it's not to slide in the body. I'm just asking the question, in two respects.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, Stalin.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wrap now. Stalin, you see, when me like, I hear about lately. This election, need qualified people in the LA, MLA, whether it's Assembly or Parliament.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
Stalin, that's oblique, right? That perpendicular, that parallel. You
listen to you.
Learn lessons. Learn and listen. 3 L's. Gravitate fast and move on.
Yeah, man.
Because you have street knowledge.
Yeah.
And book wise and book foolish.
Right.
You understand? So you have to differentiate the parallel. You understand?
Yeah.
And they're aligned. So
always appreciate it, Rambo. Always appreciate it.
Yeah, it's cool.
All right, more time, man.
More time, man.
Thanks. And as we listen to him, I'm reflecting only because he made the comment publicly here as a guest with me some time back, shortly after being first elected, and because of the respect and admiration that many of us have for him. Mr. Roy, my tiger, came into elected office, and he shared. And I think it was really, really important and noble, honorable of him to say so. He came, from a very, very significant position in the private sector, incredible responsibility, great respect amongst his peers, and a phenomenal business acumen, intellect, and all those. And he said, getting elected with the experience and expertise he has, the responsibilities on his shoulders, and all of the things that came with his office as a private sector employee, so to speak, as a private sector employer, and it's a steep learning curve. And I said to share that irrespective of when you are, my view, given the honor and the privilege to be elected to serve your country, and irrespective of your motivations, inclinations, or otherwise, you're going to be, elected for the first time at some point. Just like you don't get a second chance to make a first impression, you may get a chance to, apologize and, sort of start again, but not again for the first time. If someone like that, with the respect and the credibility that he has and that he demonstrates for others, can say to you, hey, you learn. For those who have some inkling into accounting, would recognize that public sector accounting, when you're working for government, is a bit different in preparing that for private sector companies. So whether you're 25 or 55, being elected, maybe the only difference is your age and whatever experience and expertise and outlook that you may have. But if you come with humility, with respect, with integrity, with a genuineness to do things not with ulterior motives, maybe that's the difference. So people like Mr. Roy, who reminds us that you learn and you come and you bring table. Perhaps that's what we need more and more. In addition to that, there are many who, as Rambo just inferred, who would say, well, the individual, the independent, as one of the print media would have been apt to say more recently, that experiment, again, that is even a very disrespectful tone of this, individual approach of independence was wrong. Well, is it? Is the party system the divisive, destructive thing that has caused much in the country? Now, we need organization, we need accountability, we need responsibility. But can we, it's only a question, can we have that beyond organized partisan politics? And when we have party politics, is there loyalty and commitment to the country or to the party? And if it's to the party, is it only those individuals who at that time can, sway the opinions of the party? Well, I don't think you should be naive in thinking that you serve the interests of the country. But again, many would see that. I'm going to read some messages when we come back. We invite you to stay tuned.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit CaymanAirways.com/cargo.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
Join East End's first female independent candidate, Delmira Bodden, on Monday, February 3rd at 7:30 p.m. for a public meeting at Melly Dixon's Yard across from the seawall. Come out to hear all about education, cost of living, employment, housing, and more. Radio Cayman will be broadcasting this public meeting live from East End, Monday, February 3rd at 7:30 p.m. Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back and thanks for joining us. And we go straight to our phones. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Sterling. Good afternoon to your listening audience.
And to you, man. How's the day going?
I'm going for the good, giving thanks.
All right. Well, thanks for making the time to give us a shout and share your thoughts, man.
Nah, no worries. I was just throwing into the last bit there, and you know, obviously it is political season. You know, election season is here. I would just like to make two comments, and then I'll leave it there. One, with the referendum, my biggest concern is this, Sterling, is that we operate under the Westminster system. So what one government do, the incoming government is not obligated to carry on. So, personally, without the referendum being a binding document, it's easy. I mean, it's going to almost be like a waste of time because we're going to have three different items we're going to be potentially voting for: gambling, marijuana, and the cruise port. Let's just say they all win and we all vote in favor of that, right? The incoming government not obligated. If they're different, they're not obligated to continue with that. They could reverse that because it's not binding. You know, so now it would be a huge grand move for them to go against a vote in public. But we have to bear in mind that if the lobbyist dollars are strong enough, we don't see them having any issues going against the vote in public because they go against the vote in public all the time. So that's one problem. That's one problem that I see. I mean, on that topic in particular, and you know where I stand when it comes to the cruise berthing system. You know, the Cayman Islands isn't going to not see cruise if we don't bill up here. Those are the facts. The cruise lines will have these private meetings with our government officials and try to indicate something otherwise in order to accomplish their personal goal. But I know better than that. Second thing is, I just want to point this out because I think it's critically important for our voting public, especially now that we had a huge spike in young voters registering to vote. Okay? And I just want to state this for the record. Why would I want to elect someone who quit as a minister and now they're campaigning to me to re-elect them to be ministers? So I don't see the logics and the sense in any of that. Because as ministers, you are at the helm, you are controlling the deeds for the island, you're handling the government's business and the people's business. And if you can quit 6 months before a general election and then campaign for me to re-elect you to do exactly what you just quit doing, I just don't see where the confidence level in the people could be at a comfort level where we can go out and comfortably or confidently vote for these people again. You know, and I mean that sincerely, because I can't imagine our pilot jumping out the plane because he saw something that is fixable but clean that he never got the tenacity to fix it and everybody crash while he abandoned ship. So that one act alone by each one of those members is a clear indication, because, okay, if we had to measure somebody based on their actions, then this is a no-brainer. We don't vote for people who quit.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's just what I want to say, because I want the young voters. My daughter is in that pool of voters. This will be her first time voting in her
Mm-hmm.
life,
Mm-hmm.
and she even chose to come back home 3 days before election so that she can physically do it as opposed to doing a mail-in ballot.
Okay,
right?
good.
And I try to create this awareness only because I can't tell my daughter or my son who's eligible voter. This will be my son Jamal. This will be his second time voting. I can't tell them who to vote for. I won't tell them who to vote for. But what I do is I create enough awareness that they are aware of
Mm-hmm.
of who is capable and who's not, and they make that decision based on that.
Good for you, man. Get them involved, informed, and allow them to exercise their opinion. But you give your input. If I could ask you, and I hear what you're saying, I certainly don't want to disrespect you, but with respect to what they say, winners not quitters, right? What do you say to the individual who's saying, listen, they're 6 months out or whatever it is from election, whatever is transpiring in caucus, cabinet, or otherwise in their ministries that some of us maybe don't know. They did the best thing, unlike, say, Honorable J. Ebanks, who said, I got to stick it out, I got to work with the government because the country's interests are best served by staying there. These other individuals said, listen, it's better that we resign, we quit the job, as you shared.
Well, let me just say this to that.
Mm-hmm.
If those individuals had contacted their constituency
Mm-hmm.
and consulted with the people who elected them,
Mm-hmm.
if they had went to the people and got the support of the people to resign, then I wouldn't have not a thing to say about it. But they didn't do that. Their constituency didn't know that they quit until after the fact. And I can tell you from talking to a few members of each one of those people's constituency
Mm-hmm.
that has expressed to me that they can't believe that they would do something like that without consulting the constituency.
Mm-hmm.
So whereas there may be some merits in the reasons why they wanted to leave, but those merits does not outweigh what was more important than them quitting for personal reasons. Because if it hadn't been personal reasons, Sterling,
Mm-hmm.
they would have went to the people first. They would have went to the people, but this was a self-centered personal reason why they left.
Okay.
And then they because if it wasn't, you 3.5 years prior to that, you went out and you convinced people to vote for you.
Mm-hmm.
And you went to them and consulted with them to vote for you, and they went out and they voted for you.
Mm-hmm.
So you telling me that you couldn't show them the same respect by saying, okay, I can't handle this job, I won't quit now, but I need your consent. What you all think about this?
Yeah.
So if you telling me that it was okay for you to come to my door, knock on my door, sit on my porch and beg my vote, you can't show me the common decency and courtesy to tell me that you're quitting the job that I elected you to do?
Yeah.
Come on. No, I don't.
I hear what you're saying. and
There is no way around that.
Yeah, I liken it to a football match we had one time. Never forget it. We got trounced. I mean, the other team was better than us by far, and we didn't score one goal, and they scored many. Put it that way. And all of us played to that final whistle. I mean, we just played our hearts out. And when we lost, I mean, it was a trouncing. And what was interesting, and the coach and the other team say, boy, you guys never gave up. You even though you have no prayer in heaven to even win, but the fans saw that effort, and the game could have been blown off 5 minutes into the game because there was no way we were going to win. But we played our hearts out. And that's kind of, as you said, that I'm thinking that's what we want from the captain, from the father, from people, is what you're saying. Fight to the tooth and nail for the good, to the bitter end, to the whistle, final whistle.
Absolutely. And if my representative in my constituents had came to me and said, Mario, I won't quit, I would have done everything in my power to encourage them not to quit. I would have tried my best to do whatever I could to encourage them to continue to fight. Have long left. Expose what it is that you think is wrong. Let's get that going. But stay the course, fight the fight, so that when the election come again, we know that we're gonna vote for an incumbent who demonstrated the ability, the willingness, and the braveness to fight.
Okay, I hear you, and as much as I may be a candidate in this election or next, or a voter.
I don't, all right. Well, all I can tell you is this: you remember the band that played on the movie Titanic?
Yeah.
They played until that ship sank.
Yeah. Well,
maybe they could take a page out of their book.
I hear you. Have
a good one.
You too, my friend. You too. Thanks very much. And with that, Philip Richter sits in the studio with us. And to you and many who listen or who enter the studio, I know that we all appreciate that there are things to do.
Yes.
Not just get lunch, but deliveries to be made, customers, queries to be addressed, traffic.
That was a big one. I didn't expect traffic to be as bad as it was, but so it goes.
You made it safely.
I did, safe and sound.
Glad that you're here.
Happy to be here. Good afternoon, beautiful people of the Cayman Islands. I hope you're having a wonderful, awesome Monday. First Monday of February. How the year is going by so quickly. Yeah. There were a lot of jokes about January is the longest year ever. Now we're in February.
I thought my attempt at a joke the same, boy, 2020 was the longest century. That has been surpassed by January. Let me read this in relation to the last caller's comments. This listener says, my opinion on the 4 elected MPs that resigned is that it shows me that money and position wasn't more important than what they believe in, right? So a balance to the last caller's point in saying that, hey, they did what they did because they thought it was the best thing to do. And, I certainly gonna defend or question or whichever and, be as impartial and objective. I believe we got a couple of callers to take. My friend, is that what we're gonna do?
If that's what we're gonna do, that's what we're gonna do.
He said, no, we got a news to take.
All right. Well, is news happening right now, or do we have a little bit of time? Because I just like to say about the 4 that quit. Let's see what's happening. They recently had a big win. So I can't remember even when they quit. I think it was the last day of October, or around the end of October. Yeah. But here we are in the end of January, and they got a big legislative win. So
did they? Or
well, according to their fans on social media, they did. And end of the day, those fans are voters. Yeah. So if their constituents, if their base is happy that efforts were done to remove the controversial
but that's the interesting
amendments.
Thing, right?
But listen, there are some things. I guess how to explain. I am one person, right? Mm-hmm. But if there's a group of people, especially from these areas, and they are happy that their representative left and helped, quote unquote, for theatric words, defeat the controversial National Conservation Amendments Act, then hey, all power to you.
Exactly. And then we had Dr. Jern call in and reference, and so the reason why I said this is this is where I think a collective voice makes a difference.
Yes.
But this is where it's so important for us to understand what is in, to be informed, and to recognize that everybody somewhere has an agenda to say something to either look good or make somebody else look bad.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the truth in all of that?
Where is the truth?
Right? And for me, I love the fact that increasingly we're having more and more open public discourse.
It's much needed.
Right? And it's so important.
Most important.
And this is why when you come in, like the last caller, Mr. Rankin, people hear.
Yes.
And they respond, and some actually align. So it's going to be good.
It is going to be good. I have some things to say definitely about that. I mean, which is why I messaged you last night with my awesome shower thoughts, and you said, "Hey, this is a great idea. Come on in." So all
right. Let's take the news, take the calls.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is Philip Richter going to say?
What are his shower thoughts?
Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
This is the People's Radio Station. Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market.
With a look at your latest headlines, I'm Jevi Ebanks. The Health Services Authority has launched full-time pediatric services at the Faith Hospital in Cayman Brac to ensure that children in the sister islands have access to timely and specialized care. The new pediatric clinic located in the dental building at the Faith Hospital campus offers booked appointments from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. and walk-in urgent pediatric care from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday to Friday. In emergencies or on weekends and public holidays, critically ill children or those involved in accidents will receive attention at the emergency room. The initiative addresses growing needs for continuous local access to specialized health care for the increasing pediatric population. HSA CEO Ms. Lizette Yearwood and Dr. Sarangan Velusamy, Director of the Sister Islands Healthcare Services, has expressed their enthusiasm for the essential service. To schedule an appointment, call 244-7619 or 244-7620. In Trinidad, the Police Service Commission has refuted claims that Police Commissioner Erlahir Christopher has been removed from office amid an ongoing investigation into misbehavior in public office. The PSC clarified that Herwood Christopher is not the subject of any disciplinary proceedings and has been asked to cease duties temporarily while the investigation continues. The PSC has nominated Deputy Commissioner Police Junior Benjamin to act as Commissioner of Police, pending approval from the House of Representatives. The Bahamas government will start accepting licensing application for cannabis operators by the end of the second quarter this year. The legislation regulates cannabis for medical, religious, or scientific use, with a licensing regime for cultivation, retail, and research. Attorney General Ryan Pinder stated that the Cannabis Authority is preparing to issue and regulate licenses that only 100% Bahamian-owned entities can apply for cultivation, retail transport, or religious use licenses. Special provisions will allow the use of cannabis for religious purposes, including by Rastafarians. That is your latest headlines. I'm Jevy Ebanks.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Radio Cayman Talk Today continues.
Hey, welcome back. Thanks for joining us. And in the studio, Philip Richter is our guest.
Good afternoon.
We're going to take some calls. One of our listeners said that in relation to your comments prior to news, this had nothing to do with money in the message we read.
Hey.
It was about just, I just want to let the voters know they want any wins, and again, to that point where we can agree and disagree and we can share these thoughts, it's good that we have the forum to disagree and the platform to be able to allow people to share. Now, I'm going to invite you to share, but we have a caller.
Let's take the caller.
Thank you. Hey, welcome. Thanks for sharing.
Good afternoon to you, Sterling.
Hey, welcome, sir. How are you today?
Excellent, thank you. Good afternoon to the young man there.
Good afternoon, sir.
Brilliant young man, but of course, he's on the opposite side of the spectrum that I'm on. You're both liberal-minded. I'm not.
That's me. Liberal Phil.
I'm not. There are many reasons for that. Doesn't work in this day and age with powerful people on the other side who run countries that are repressive countries, totally repressive.
Mm-hmm.
And they are not liberal-minded at all, and they have influenced a lot of people in the Caribbean, particularly the Chinese. You see that huge influence.
Mm-hmm.
Repressive government. No one can deny that fact, and I'm not going to go about that right now. I agree with good bit of what my friend Mr. Murray Rankin said a while ago. I don't think there's any need for any referendum. Let's put the bills, that's what we've been elected for, before Parliament. Whether we have a gambling law passed, because we have a situation in Cayman where gambling is illegal. So, legalize gambling or don't legalize it. Stand up and be counted. Stand up and
Yes, sir.
be counted.
Yep.
Good. That's what you're elected for. Legalize gambling or it's illegal. Then you cannot, if the answer is no, you cannot have raffles. Raffles are gambling. You're gambling.
Gives a
Doesn't
chance,
matter
right?
who we give the money to. It's gambling. It is gambling. So therefore, you'd have to stop those immediately. Doesn't matter whether you give the money to charities, which we know they say they do, and we know, and there are a lot of charitable organizations here, but that's for another day. Many, 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 with hundreds of billions of dollars passing through here. Why we need so many charities is beyond my scope of recognition or acceptance.
Yes, sir.
I cannot fathom that. We need those cruise piers. That's the one thing I disagree with Mr. Rankin. And I'd always say we need to build them. We have to understand, if you're in the cruise business, you would know what I'm saying. One of the main reasons is the time they can spend at different places that can make some money from them and can give them something to enjoy and so forth is very limited. They have to get back to the tender. That's the first thing you hear. I've been in it now almost 20 years, straight business. I should know something about it. I hear people talking who I know have no knowledge of it, no experience of it, but it doesn't matter to me. They can pretend and say what they want. That's what happens to us now. As my cousin Jim Borden said, we live in a Disney World here. Disney World.
Yes, sir.
We need them because the people have to get back to the ships. They also are afraid to come off. We have to understand it's just a small percentage of those 15 and 10,000 and 8,000 we hear on those ships that come off. That's the manifested quantities. That's not who disembark. The disembarked people are the people who keep the little shops, the bus tours, the events, the different places they go to have and see different things. That is the people who will pay the money and will provide the money for these businesses and people to continue to have employment and so forth. It's a very different story to learn how many people come off. It's a different story. There are very elderly people now. I've noticed that over the last several years. So they're not coming off, and they'll tell you about that, and they'll talk to you about it. But no one wants to interview people and talk to them about those issues. We don't bother with that. Anyhow.
All right. Well, that's your point.
That's beside the point. You got that. You got that. But also with the system of government, it's a party system. Do not ever forget that. We saw the disaster that happened after the last election. It's a party system. People have to get together in a committed group that will say, this is what we're going to do, and this is what we're going to stand for.
Right.
You have to stand for those things. Yes, you can change your minds. Everybody is entitled to change their minds and so forth. But when you get in there, you have to understand there's the commitment to what you have told the people you're going to do. And that's how it's been. That's how that system has always operated. If you want to get out of that system, then tell the people that you wish to come out of the British Westminster parliamentary system and try to go on our own. We were on our own for 67 years, 1831 after the first elections till 1898. Self-rule, self-governed to a very, very large degree. And anyone who knows anything about the history of Cayman should know that. We were under that system. It was very opposed. There are many hiccups. There are many things that happen. You can also read about that if they're interested. Most people now are only interested in looking at a cell phone and looking at things that come up on it by different people who have no interest, no clue about Cayman, and put in input there. I've seen where someone was suggesting in one of the newspapers, I don't remember where it's the Anti-Caymanian Compost or the sometime Caymanian Times, whether it was about following Singapore's lead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, thanks, Mr. Mickey. And to that, Mr. Victor, I mean, you share what you want, but any...
All I will say is it's good that we have dialogue. It's good that these ideas, whether we like them or don't like them, are brought to the fore. So at least we have something as a public to agree and disagree upon. With discussions, personally, I think the Cayman Compass and Caymanian Times do good reporting. I've worked with a lot of the people that worked there in the past, and I think they do a great service to that. With that being said, I believe their work is good to create dialogue at the dining table or dialogue at long-form discussion hubs such as the Radio Cayman studio, so that we can talk about the articles that they wrote. So with that, all information is good information. It's good to agree and it's good to disagree. And in the middle, I think we find balance, and I think that balance is the answer, what we're looking for, so that we can move forward. I will say one thing to the caller about not having referendums. And in a sense, looking at how the national, the NCA amendments were withdrawn, I would say we don't need referendums, because if a highly controversial bill, whether I agree with it or not, is going to hit the floor, it clearly shows that there's enough support from the public to have their elected government officials withdraw that. You may recall during the, when was this? I want to say 2016 opposition, 2016 before the election, 2017 opposition, they would go on tour district to district about, what was it? I think it was the legal practitioners bill, if I'm not mistaken. The opposition of the day was adamant again of stopping it, and so what they did was they went district to district, town hall to town hall, and eventually that they were successful. So in a sense, no, referendums don't matter, because we the public will just hound our public officials till it's done.
Well, hopefully we will, participate as voters, not just as some phrase we like to use, special interest group.
Special interest group. I'm glad you brought up that phrase. I think it's a disingenuous phrase. The phrase I like to use is the GDP.
Yeah.
When you're talking about companies that hire hundreds, if not thousands, of people and are paying hundreds, if not thousands, of mortgages and bills, and and providing enough goods and services that these people can go get their nails done and go get oil for their car and buy a new car and pay the insurance and whatnot. Yes, these companies want to make sure that the country is on a right track so that these companies can grow. I think when we talk about special interests, we just think of like some faceless suit, in the ivory tower, but really it's from the lowest person on the totem pole up top.
It's an interesting thing as we go into the break to ask people to consider. Robert Reich, I say Reich, but I think he prefers it to be pronounced. He was President Clinton's labor secretary during the first term. And I think there's a documentary somewhere. But if you pick up the little book. It's not a difficult read.
Right.
Saving Capitalism. Quite an interesting name when you read
Yeah.
it. But he talked about how that's group can influence, the political agenda.
It's okay. Let's say, for example, I'm just going to make up a district. Let's say I live in Bordentown North, and I represent Bordentown North. And Bordentown North is a massive. We build a lot of ships. We have a lot of manufacturing there. Obviously, a smart representative would understand that this district produces and manufactures a lot of ships, and therefore anyone against.
Yeah.
So by default, because of the culture of this area, they are going to elect somebody who represents the shipbuilding industry of Bordentown North. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, this isn't there's no Bordentown North, but for the sake of discussion, there is.
Yeah.
And it's a massive shipbuilding hub. But so those industries are going to make sure are going to do their best to make sure that somebody goes in there and understands the needs of industry for the great people of Bordentown North.
But to that point, there should also be, just in the event that this large manufacturer and employer in that area, if there are environmental, social, or other concerns, costs, or other things that may be negatively impacting that area, that somebody steps up. Not thinking of the Errol Brockoviches of the past, right? But as an example, hey, this is a great employer.
Yes.
We have real life examples of these in history.
Yes.
Who goes and say, just because it's contributing this to the GDP.
Yes.
Right? Take the Cayman example. Allegedly, there's growing concern that private sector employees are being told by their private sector employers, you do not say anything publicly, do not participate, you cannot be a candidate, you cannot in the democratic process, because we as the employer don't want to run afoul or be perceived to be so when it comes to the government of the day. Right?
What I have to say to that is...
Yeah.
Oh, are we going to a break?
Yeah, go yeah.
All right, long story short, you have an entry meeting for when you apply for a position and you're about to get it, or you get it, you have a terms and conditions,
right?
Or you talk about it with the human resources department, and if you are a political person and they're not feeling politics, well, congratulations, that's not a fit for you. Somewhere else
Fair
is.
enough.
But if that is your last resort and you have to pay bills, then yeah, you have to sacrifice your political ambitions for the time being.
But it's not even your political ambitions personally.
Yeah.
It's the fact that you are part of supposedly a free and fair democratic society.
Hey,
And
you're part of the society, but your employer is your employer.
Exactly. But something comes up 15 years into employment, 15 months into employment. Now, you got to choose between an opinion, right? And like you say, bill paying. All right, let's pause and take that break.
Yes.
Stay tuned.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Protect your computers and mobile devices with security software to defend against cyber attacks through viruses, malware, and other online threats. Be aware of unsecure Wi-Fi connections when in public. If you need to access your online banking or sensitive information on your mobile devices, try disabling the Wi-Fi and switching to data from your mobile network. If you suspect a fraud attempt, please contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit CaymanAirways.com/cargo.
Freedom, Kim Brack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer. Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks to Philip Victor for giving us any insight, input of any of his time. So, thanks, man.
Thank you. We were having a great conversation. I just want to pivot quickly because I don't want to call her to come in and.
We got 2 calls, but you go ahead.
All right.
Yeah.
So I have been reading a lot of the manifestos, the websites, the history of the PPM. There's some great reading, and so on and so forth. I've been just seeing what's up, seeing what information I can get a hold of. And one thing I realized about the political hopefuls, no matter how successful they were in private sector, one thing about political hopefuls compared to incumbent candidates is and this is strictly my opinion, I don't believe political hopefuls can use the same airy, feel-good language of, we're going to address the cost of living with sound solutions in succinct precision. Things like that. We are going to, lift Caymanians from the burdens of unemployment. That language, although it's great and although it's fantastic for the stage and the campaign and the trail, and a little soundbite here and there. But I would say political hopefuls, you need to change that language and whack some policy in there, because and I say this because we see what the incumbent did. We watched them for 4 years. We watched them in the House. We watched them in the street. We watched them in the media, right? So we have a basis. We have an understanding of what they bring policy wise because we've seen them for 4 years. But political hopefuls, a lot of them get I don't know if smeared is the right word, but I'll just use it for sake of discussion. Is, they don't have any experience in government. And that may be true, but that's not to say that they don't have experience in the private sector that they can't bring to government. But with that being said, I strongly encourage all political hopefuls is to bring your policy forward. I don't want to read through a manifesto hearing, about how the triumphs and the tribulations and
yeah, we all know the problems, right?
We all know the problems, but don't give me...
Or do we?
Look, if you don't have any solutions, at least highlight the problem in depth. I think that's a great starting ground. But in terms of solutions, please know we are going to rebuild the middle class with firm dedication. Like, cool, absolutely. But let's see
how.
Let's see a how. And I think that's what's going to separate a political hopeful from an incumbent is the how in detail.
Let me challenge you as you
challenge
away. Right? I agree we need solutions.
Yes.
But it would appear always that the incumbent has the advantage.
Always.
Right? So should we not hold the incumbent as high, if not higher, right, to a higher standard, because you've had a time, 1 term, 2 terms, a million terms.
Right.
You've demonstrated perhaps that you haven't done anything.
A couple things. 2, okay, time. Number 1, I don't believe in term limits. I believe we as the voting public can just vote out.
Fully agree.
Vote out who we want. There's if they're doing a great job, why
we should be the ultimate arbiter.
Yeah, why we put them there, right? So and we can take them out. And number 2, the only way to hold your elected official to account is, I would say, the best way is through elections. Now, when it comes to political hopefuls, if you want to start campaigning a week before nomination day or 24 months ago, that's on you. So your crusade, your campaign to be the new representative of said area is really up to you.
Let's take this call. This person writes, how can the incumbents campaign on the same issues that got them elected, whether 1 term ago, 10 terms ago? Why aren't they fixing the issues? So to that point, maybe the incumbents need to be held to account because they've been there. They had a chance.
Hey, when they come on this show to campaign, call in and ask.
Okay. Let's call the caller who's calling. Hey, welcome. Thanks for sharing. How are you? Welcome. Hello?
I think we left them alone. Oh, here we go.
How you doing? How you doing?
Yeah, I want. I was very. I was listening very carefully to what Mr. Richter was saying about stuff like that. Okay, for example, no, it's a similar thing to what I was talking about inventing my game now. Okay, suppose you have, whether it's a new Caymanian or indigenous, brilliant, smart young Caymanians that have, because some of these guys studying right now to restore ships and that sort of thing.
Yes.
Okay. What do we have in place now to assist our people, these people, when it concerns, okay, yeah, they have things in place where, for example, the architecture is intellectual property itself.
Yeah, I think I'm having a little bit of a challenge because of the feedback. I'll come back to that call in a second. But let's take this last one and then maybe look at the idea of the IP and then but let's take this final call.
All right.
Hey, thanks very much if you hear me. Final call. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Yes, Sterling, and your young friend there. You seem to have cut me off. I know why.
No, sir, not at all. Please don't be offended.
Let's not go into that, please. Okay? I spoke about this, what that person said about Singapore. People just jump up and say, yes, we should follow this. Singapore has direct income tax and corporate taxes, and they also have corporal punishment. Do you know what that is? I'm sure. And capital punishment. Good? That's a very different system from ours, and it shapes the reactions and actions of society, those things that I've said. So when we compare ourselves to these places and people jump up and say, yes, they're successful economically and stuff, yes, but why? Where they're successful, what they're doing. They have manufacturing. You talked about building things, and we build nothing really. We have a few places that make, and God bless them, rum cakes, and we produce some rum, and we produce some beer, and a few thousand cases of things shipped away every year, but that's minuscule in the long course of things. That's not what we're involved in. What we're involved in now is something that we weren't involved in before. You never heard of Cayman being on any black list, gray list, blue list, white list before the 1970s when we went into the financial world. Let us not lie to the people. That's when we started this, because we entered into a world where we were handing big, humongous monies for people. Very, very, very wealthy people. Very wealthy. And that's why they build buildings here, because it's the easiest way to move money through a country is to build buildings. I say it right now, and I'm adamant that no one can deny what I just said. That's the easiest way, and that's why it's done this way. Right? That's what we move towards. So it's a very different economy from when we talked about the Southwell years, which I knew very well, and which we all understood, and which was the greatest years for Caymanians. The late 1960s into the 70s, for Caymanians. Let us differentiate it. But we have moved away from that, and we're into this different world now. So we have to understand it's a different world for many, many of the older people and older electors in our society. Are we going to vote for people who don't understand what our world was, what it was, what our culture was. We have 150 different nationalities. Are we going to merge it and make one culture out of 150? Is that what the people want? Maybe that's what you might want. Maybe that's what your young friend might want. This tolerance and this thing, that's not what I want. That's not what I want, and that's not what a lot of those people my age want. We want to say that we should be the dominant culture. We should have the dominance over things that we want to represent what a Caymanian is, who a Caymanian is, and so forth. Will we be able to continue to do that? I don't know. I don't know. Not with what I see. But we may get, very well, we may get the weakest, most liberal government ever. We may get a government that will say, well, we're going to build an abortion clinic on every corner. We're going to limit the talk of Jesus Christ in our schools and everything. We do not know. It's quite possible it may happen. This is the point I'd like to make. Are we ready for that kind of change? Are we ready for that kind of change? We don't know. So let us think very carefully before we say, let us elect some young people who will change things. Change sometimes is good, sometimes it's not very good at all. I've seen that very well over my many years. I've seen it. Thank you very much for listening to me and allowing me this time.
Thank you always, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. One thing I will say to that is culture is downstream from politics. So whatever the culture is of a society, in our case, a single member constituency, then that will dictate the outcome of the election.
Yeah. Here's something that I
So, for example, to his point, his age group feel very a certain way about a certain style of governments compared to others.
Right.
But who will see in that race, they will elect they will vote for their candidate who sticks up for them, while people like me, the liberals, will vote for someone who aligns with our ideology. But guess what? End of the day, we're still each other's neighbors. And we may agree and disagree, but at least we have enough respect to engage in dialogue.
I certainly always appreciate when our guests come on, and publicly you, Mr. Rankin, and others in particular, because there's an opportunity to hear a perspective from individuals like yourselves who share courageously.
Thank you.
From a considered, perspective. What I'm finding increasingly that we throw a lot of words out, and I've been very, very conscious in listening, not to respond, but to try to understand. I'll say more, but first this. Someone writes, we may not like Mr. Hurlston's message, but oh, how true his words are, referring to the last caller. Now, I read that to say, is that me, you, or we, the public in general, right? And for me, when someone's view is completely different from mine for whatever reason, I want to hear that. Because if we deny that voice, we deny ourselves the opportunity to learn or to be informed, or at least to either be cemented in what we think or to be so sufficient informed that we have a reconsidered perspective, right?
Yes. I want to say that's a good thing about you and your personality, and also you leading the show, because it takes someone of that mental fortitude to do that. Because one thing, if we look at our friends in America, just based on what I'm seeing online, I'm not American. Everyone is in silos. You cannot think out different from me, then therefore you are the enemy. What type of world is that?
But thank you. I mean, I credit my parents. I've said this increasingly, deliberately.
Yeah.
I recognize, I don't necessarily say that I embrace it. Really something I want. My job is somewhat public.
Yeah.
I'm not a public person. My life isn't an open book.
Your life, well, yeah, I yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In saying that, my parents shared with us, listen, there were two things. They encourage us to have an opinion, to have what maybe in today's world we consider dialogue and a sense of discussion. But it had to be done in two ways. One, respectful. No cussing, fussing, and fighting. Right? And two, you say, recognizing that your brothers and sisters also have an opinion. So as much as you want to say and share, you need to be mindful that they too should have that same opportunity, right? No matter how much your opinion might be correct. It probably isn't, but even if it is not the only opinion.
Mm-hmm.
That is one of the things that I think is glaringly wrong in society. We don't want to hear anybody else's opinion, right? We
Yeah.
talk about tolerance and acceptance and stuff, but I don't even believe that the words leave our lips sufficiently for us to even discredit it. And we need that. So I appreciate what you shared. We're going into an election.
Yeah.
And
the 90 under 100 days,
Yeah.
90-day sprint.
I'm inclined for different reasons to try to promote and to evoke greater dialogue.
Yeah.
The fear is one. It may be perceived as being anti-public service, whatever. Two, oh yeah, he could run. I've encouraged that thought process for years. But the desire to be elected isn't because I want a position personally.
Yeah.
Because put your money where your mouth is, right? Encourage others to do so. I want to say that to share that, as Mr. Rankin said earlier, we got a lot of younger people who are going to be voting,
Yeah.
who want to vote.
And we've got some young candidates running
we
who are
have-
under 30,
Yeah.
which I think is awesome.
Which is awesome.
So cool.
Right.
Coolest.
But yeah. But the thing is simple. Are you coming to the table with humility?
Mm.
Right? That'll trump, no pun intended, anything else. Right? Because with humility, you get honesty and integrity.
Yeah.
Ability. And it's not just academic ability. Man, listen, I love this place.
I love it too.
That's why I can I say this publicly, man. I love the fact that you're here. And we got to have that agape love for each other.
Yeah.
And we don't have it. Your parents will chastise you because they love you.
Mm.
They'll allow you to have something as quickly as they will allow you to say, listen, no, that's enough. Or not today, Bobo. But we got to be responsible. And we're not. We're not willing to be accountable. And we should.
You know, it's funny that you mention all these things about being honest and having integrity and being accountable and all that. These are all words that we, quote unquote, slap and sew on to our elected officials. However, if we as a society can't hold ourselves accountable, transparent, honest, and whatnot, how can we do that to the quote unquote elected leaders?
Yeah, and this is why in the political sort of machinations,
Yeah.
we need accountability and responsibility.
Yeah.
We need structure, we need integrity, we need organization, we need all those things.
Yeah.
But do we need partisan politics, right? To get that? Is a question.
That is a great question. I would say, based on the NCA bill removed, I would say it doesn't hurt. You know what? I'll put it to you like this. It's a good thing, even though it can be a bad thing.
Like a lot of things, with that sort of withdrawal.
Because a broken clock is right twice a day, right?
Well,
and
unless it's at 24 o'clock.
This guy. But with that being said, even though, okay, I'll localize this example. There were two ministers who are no longer elected, but I think we all know who I will allude to, who everyone would say, when these two guys start making sense, you know things are wrong, right? And I mean, you know things are going wrong when they make sense. And I say that to say that means everybody thought, oh my goodness, not these two again.
No.
But they would hear him out and go, oh my goodness, he's making sense, which means we really are doomed.
But here is the thing, right?
Hear out your adversaries.
Yeah, which we need
You'll
to
learn
do.
a lot.
I got beat up literally because there were people who would call in that nobody wanted to hear.
Yeah.
Listen, if we denied a voice, what if it's your voice?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
What is good for the goose is good
right.
for the gander.
And with that legislation, legislative amendments being withdrawn, what if it was because the government of the day actually was being informed by some of their closest individuals about something that they thought, we paid somebody to give us these amendments. Allegedly, Sir Jeffrey Jowell weighed in on the NCA amendments, right? What if others weighed in and said, do you realize this isn't what is being said, right?
Yeah, I mean, end of the day, you want to talk about one man, one vote. End of the day, these people all have constituencies, close-knit constituencies.
Right.
So who's to say that their phones weren't blowing up? Like, yo, you better
exactly.
don't play with me today because I'm seeing you tomorrow and I want to,
And here's the thing, right? We talk about politics.
Yeah.
We have a constitution, but the Westminster model labors on the conventions, which are significant. And the convention may be that that this thing will be the thing because this is the thing that's always been. That's what a convention is for in this instance, right?
Yeah.
There's too much politicking. There's not enough of service above self. Not enough about what is good for the country now, but for generations. I've always believed that if we were a government that said, let's have a 100-year plan, right?
Yeah.
For two reasons.
Yeah.
I would love to be here in 100 years, but if so, I want to be healthy in every way.
Yeah.
That 100 years were broken down into 5 slots of 20. That 20 into 5 slots of 4. And it's constantly being adjusted and aligned and assessed, right? Unless with the intent that what we're doing is that living, breathing thing that affects us all. Right? But what we do, we do something today, and by this afternoon, anyway, be careful because I may get political.
Yeah, but I will say, if you want to talk about politics, politics of politics, I think there needs to be higher standards to dress code in politics. For example, if you're going to certain economic forums, I would recommend a suit of one color and not trainers. That's one example. I would also advise that for political hopefuls who are running with a party is that you wear the party shirt and not the same color of the party shirt, but in a Lacoste V-neck version, because you are showing unity with the team. And even though it's the same color, one hyper-political analyst who every now and again goes on radio will see that as, he's not pulling his weight.
Yeah. I hear you.
Or her weight. Yeah. I'm not saying who.
No. I hear you. I'll
either or.
Challenge you.
And my final thing is please, politicians and political hopefuls of the Cayman Islands, please do not film yourself while driving asking for social media followers. It is distracted driving, and you're supposed to be leading by example. You cannot lead by example by breaking the law. And if you're going to break the law over social media followers, really, dog? Social media? This is what, you know what I mean? This, come on. So,
when you have opportunity to come back on, I'm going to ask for an involved discussion relative to the incumbents of the day.
Yeah.
Because they oftentimes will have the upper hand, right?
Well, we can
I believe that they need to be held to a higher standard. The adult versus the child, right? The CEO, the chairman, the whatever, more than just the novice. So the political hopeful may not necessarily be forgiven for the faux pas, may not be given a lighter sentence or an easier time. But if you were in a position for 4 years or 4 terms prior, whatever that is, right? And you're saying, well, we need to fix cost of living or we need to do this. Well, what did you do in your intervening term?
You know what? I'll give a little free consultation right now. Incumbents, run off your record. If people ask you, hey, you went in there 21 talking about cost of living, what did you do?
Right.
You know?
Well,
and
there's
hope
a joke,
you have an answer for it.
Yeah, there was a joke that
run on your record
was shared with many of us, and we would laugh, but it has such a play. There was a particular character, put it in a local parlance. He's before the court, and the judge that day was Hercules, I'm told. Name of the judge. And he said to Mr. Ebanks, he said, boy, he said, you got a record here. He said, yeah, you're not going to play that one. You know, little things like that in our society are very indicative if we understand the local parlance, if we appreciate the importance of owning and being who we are, what we are in our own space, not elsewhere. And that is where I think in the Cayman context now, the idioms of the day as well as the intent of those who are offering or have offered themselves. It's about looking, as you say, at their record, but it's also what is their ulterior, if any, motives in getting or remaining elected.
There's so much to unpack, right? So, for example, in this current election cycle, we have a brand new team of candidates who have never been elected before. However, some, not all, but some of them are well known in the whole community, right? And then you have some who are known in their respective communities. With that being said, I don't even know how to phrase this. We'll come back to this. This is a massive,
Let me thank our team for allowing us the extra innings, right?
Yes.
But here is where a very politically charged statement. Why we should potentially consider, or at the very least be willing to have a conversation about a national vote. Whether it's that grouping that you refer to with Mr. Dan Scott and his team, whether it's any of the other political groupings. The country as a whole, as an example, may have 3 or 4 wonderful candidates in East End, just as an example. But in West Bay or Camelback or Georgetown, in that area, there may be 7. I don't think there are 7 announced for any area yet. So, borrowing your Bordentown North example.
Yep, shout out Bordentown North.
Hey,
well, with the way the population's going, who's to say?
You look at the ballot for that particular area, and you might be challenged to find one. But you look at the ballot in another area, and you go, man, there are 3 good people, but you can only pick one. You're doing a disservice to the country by not being able to select, right? The 3. Something to consider.
It is worth considering.
And we need the political maturity, the political acumen, but also the political will to look at what is in this country and ask what is best for the country. Not for the political sort of hopeful in that area, but for the country. And that's where leadership comes in. Your daddy don't tell you yes or no because he wants to be a good guy or a bad guy. He's telling you yes or no because it's what is best for you. Doesn't matter how much it hurts him to tell you no more candy.
I'm glad you said that. It's the dentist versus the candy salesman. Who do you really want to hear from? Do you want to hear about the new flavors of Oreos and Hershey's bars, or do you want to realize that you have 3 cavities and you got to get them filled?
I got to tell you what I want.
And your insurance is going to run low, so do you want to get them now or when it gets
There you go. Listen, thanks for the time.
Hey, thank you. I always got time for you.
Hey, thank you all. If on a personal level, whatever I do or say isn't comprehensible, let me know. If what I do or say doesn't align with your thoughts, let me know. Gives me a chance to grow and to learn, but also gives me a chance to exhibit what I believe is important and maybe convey it in such a way that is convincing. By the end of the day, if it makes me better informed, better positioned, maybe I'll become a better citizen. Thanks very much, Mr.
Hey,
B.
thank you. Happy to be here.
Tomorrow. God's willing to be a part of it, but as we live and breathe and how it exists now, let's make this the very best we can, because no man is promised tomorrow. A woman might be, but no man is. Until then, be blessed.
Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949